My name is Dr. John Zimbaro, and I drive a 1973 Porsche 914 2-liter. I purchased the car brand new in Phoenix, Arizona in October of 1973, and I've had the car ever since. Initially, I wanted to get a Lotus Europa, but you couldn't get air conditioning with the Lotus Europa, and no girl would go out with a single guy in Phoenix unless you had air conditioning. I had seen a 914-6 in dental school. One of my classmates bought one brand new, and he liked it better than his 911T. And I never forgot that fact. After graduation, when it came down to me buying my own car, I wanted to get a 911, and I went to the Porsche dealer. In 1972, the Porsche 911 that I wanted to buy was $7,400, and unfortunately, the dollar was devalued in relationship to the German mark, and so in 1973 it was $11,600. As a result, I ended up turning my attention to the Porsche 914, and they just come out with a 2-liter engine as an option. I like the idea of the mid-engine because you got to remember, in those days there was the 24 Hours of Le Mans with the big huge 917 Porsches that were mid-engined. I got a test drive in this exact car. As it turns out, I was very impressed. We went through these streets of downtown Phoenix off to the side, and lots of curves, and I was thinking, man, this car is awesome. While I was living in Phoenix, I would take my car and tow a 16-foot catamaran to and from the lake about 30 miles every weekend. I had a trailer hitch made specifically for the car, and you can imagine this small car pulling a 8-foot wide catamaran. Then once we moved up to the top of the mountains, we live about a mile off the paved road, and our road is steep and a mountainous road. So the car has never been babied. The car has always has done very well. The one time that I had a serious problem, or what I thought was a serious problem, the engine was diagnosed as having been a blown rod or a broken piston, and I didn't feel comfortable with that diagnosis, and so I trailered the car to Phoenix. It turned out it was just the engine fan housing, and so they went ahead and put in 4 bushings, and it's been fine ever since. So I never had to have the engine, any serious work on the engine. Knock on wood, it's still working 43 years later. The front spoiler was the original spoiler, and I've run over jackrabbits, and I've hit a coyote, so I've had to literally refiberglass it several times. Sometimes I've thought, well, gee, you know, it would be nice to go ahead and have all the dings taken out and have the car repainted, and then I would talk to other Porsche enthusiasts, and they would say, oh man, just leave it the way it is. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, does it drive okay? Oh yeah, it drives great. Well, then just let her be the way she is. And so that's what we've done. The reason I keep driving my Porsche is because it goes back to the fact that I've always been in love with sports cars. And my idea of a sports car is a car that you can drive hard, have a good time, go around corners, but yet at the same time, it gives you that feel a true sports car has, and this has that feel. I like to be able to control what I'm doing. I describe the feeling of driving my 914 as almost being in a go-kart. You literally can open the door and touch the ground. You do have to muscle the car a lot more than if it had power steering, but I like that feel. To me, that's part of it being a real true sports car. I like the idea of being able to drive a car with a clutch and a 5-speed. And the fact that it's very well geared, it really appeals to me because of the terrain that I live in. I live in the mountains, and for me, it's a perfect mountain car. I hope to keep driving it, and until I get too old that I can't shift, then maybe I'll consider something else.